Part 4, antidotes to evil. Learn to love yourself. Evil hates the energy of love. So controlling, manipulative, psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, if you love yourself, it's like the opposite of a moth to a flame. They have an aversion to people who really deeply honor themselves, cherish themselves, value themselves, love themselves. They will stay away, and so will the system. If learning to love yourself, and it's also loving yourself will mean you're more likely to be self-harmless, which brings you in alignment with the divine principle. If you find self-love a little bit out of reach, then look after the Holy Land. So that's your multidimensional being, your physical body, look after it. That will be evidence to you that you are on the right track. So baby steps. If you've got any bad habits, have a think, just say, okay, I do that 10 times a week, it's bad, it's a nasty habit. I'm going to do it 10 times a month instead of 10 times a week. Yeah? And just don't force it, don't punish yourself for not just say, just going to cut down on what I consider to be self-harming habits. And we all have them. No exceptions. All of us. If you're looking for clues as to how to be well, here are 6 pillars of health. So this is how you prove that you're looking after the Holy Land. Make sure you breathe deeply. Don't shallow breathe. Breathing fast is hyperventilation. You want deep, sound, regular breath. Keep the windows open. That's the only thing I agree with the government on. Keep the windows open. There's nothing else. Keep the windows open. Crikey. We could start a negotiation pact. We could start to negotiate a pact. Line 1, keep the windows open. Yes, I'm with you. Get the fresh air in. Indoor environments are toxic, and they're becoming increasingly toxic. Outdoor environments are not exactly pristine, are they, at the moment? Hydration. You may have been taught that there is ice, water, as in liquid water, and gaseous or steamy water, and that's your lot. No. There is the 4th density of water, plasmic. It may be what keeps the sky intact and is referred to in the Bible, or not the Bible again, firmament. And it's what makes our bodies not melt onto the floor. We are supposed to be 70-80% water, but it would have to be plasmic water for us to be so solid. Otherwise we would just be a sack of utility. So it's plasmic. And drink plasmic water, which means clean it first and then structure it. There's lots of ways to structure water. You can bless it, you can get crystals, or you can get devices. The military are now structuring their water. So this is not woo-woo. I use a structuring device, and I'm not going to advertise it because the CEO keeps ringing me up. He knows I'm going around the country and I mention his devices. So all I'm saying is, have a look at structuring your water. Makes it plasmic. I'll give you an example of the value of it. I've been doing plasmic water, structured water for a year now. I think I am 20 years younger than a year ago, and I'm pretty youthful anyway. But it's taken me to another level, another 2 levels. No more aches and pains. I can dance without being called dad. And I'm not a dad, so that's oh, daddy dancing, that's gone. Nutrition, remember, plenty of food around, bugger all nutrition, no nutrition, so you have to work some of the funds that we spend on what I call nonsense, so you know what I mean, it needs to be redirected towards nutrition. Physical detox. Well, you can cheat. You don't have to do a full-on detox that can bring on what's called a healing crisis. You can have a water fast of 24 hours, clean, structured water, and you can build up to 72 hours. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'm just telling you what I've done. And these things help. And they're kind of cheating things because the 72-hour water fast does lead to a complete immune reboot. So it's a good thing to aim at. Start with 24 hours though. Emotional release. There's no need to hang on to garbage, baggage, let it go. We're in a balloon or a hot air balloon ascending with Mother Earth. Get those bags out of the balloon, you know, marked grudge, trauma, hurt, disappointment. They're not real. They're just your, again, figments of your imagination, because most of them affected the person. They didn't affect the man, woman, boy or girl. And there was a bit of a confusion going on. Gentle exercise. If you're running like this, or doing any exercise with a grimace or, you know, scrunching your face, it's not right for you. You need to be smiling as you walking. Walking is the ultimate exercise. I mean, obviously, if you're a single woman, I do understand that you might not want to walk in certain places at certain times, but, and that's probably true of men as well these days, but, you know, just walk. What I do to make sure I walk is I park the car much further away than that looks sensible. Now, David, how come you're going to Sainsbury's, but you've parked at Tesco's? How does that work? Well, it does. It keeps me fit. And don't tell Tesco's, by the way. TPL tips. Eat less and eat organic. Yes, eat less. We eat way too much. 3 square meals a day is too many. Intermittent fasting. I've been doing that for a couple of years. It's amazing. Energy, slimness, brightness. Intermittent fasting, basically, you stop eating at 6, 7 or 8 in the evening and you only restart. So you breakfast and lunch you squeeze into one meal called brunch, and you have it 11, 12, 1. Everything depends. Listen, you're the masters, but you need to know yourselves to assert your mastery. So it's all trial and error. But one thing we're avoiding is, it is 8 o'clock, therefore I must have my crunchy nut cornflakes. Other cereals are available. I keep doing that, don't I? So we have to take the automaton out of our lives and replace it with a spontaneous, conscious man, woman, boy or girl. And there is a connection, because the automaton is controlled for commercial purposes. See what I mean? If you're eating routinely rather than consciously, then you are complying with a commercial, corporate directive, feeding the beast. Daily saline solution. A Russian healer once told me that you've got to eat salt in relatively generous quantities in a solution, not like pile it in your mouth, in a solution to protect your spiritual body. It keeps away dark thoughts and dark entities. So think of salt as the glue that keeps the Holy Land intact. And they used to give Roman soldiers salt as salary. Oh, sal, there you go. Sal is the Roman word for salt. Salvation. I owe this one to Santos Bonacci. So if you're listening, Santos, thank you. Salvation gives you the value of the sal or salt. That word, salvation. Guess what they did a few decades ago? They said, what did they say? No salt diet is the healthy one. Blood type eating. 2 extremes. If you're blood type A positive, you can and probably should be plant-based. If you're blood type O, it's more problematic. And A, B and B, grey area. Just do some research. That's all I'm saying. There must be a reason why blood typing exists. This could be one of them. I'm not being dogmatic here. I'm just giving you ideas. Vitamins and minerals. Don't just go to... I nearly advertised on the... Don't just go to any old chemist or supermarket. You've got to be diligent and find out which ones of these are food grade, non-GMO'd, and actually healthy. Yes? Just because it says twice the recommended daily minimum of, the recommended daily minimum of anything is normally 20 to 30 times less than the actual required minimum. Something like that. If I've got the math slightly wrong, please forgive me, whoever's listening thinking, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But what I'm saying is, basically the RDA, recommended daily allowance, is highly and wildly inaccurate. Find yourself. We've got lost. We need to go out and find ourselves. No, don't go out, go in. Go in and find yourself. There's a great website, Richard Rudd, Gene Keys, that reveals your innate gifts, opens your heart, and shows you the route to prosperity through service. So this is a kind of anti-commercial information pack, info pack. You can have your profile done free on this website, genekeys.com. I have no vested interest in this. I'm just another punter of Gene Keys. And you can find information about you that reveals things about you that you might not know, that might help you build your future or build a better. I'm trying to avoid that phrase, you know, that B. I'm going to write that future that only you can build from a point of view of consciousness, knowing who you really are, knowing what your gifts and talents are. Fulfill yourself. So this is connected. Find your, what the Japanese call ishigai, your passion, your vocation, your mission, your contribution. Passion, everyone's born with a passion, even it's a passion for doing bugger all. We're all born with one. And that's a Zen quality anyway. If you have a passion and you dream of doing it when you're older, so you'll see it as your vocation. If you develop the skill, if you develop it, it can become your mission. If other people see the value in it, then it can become your unique contribution. Can you see the difference between this and having a job? So this is why it's an antidote to evil. In the evil controlling system, you have a job and you get a financial reward that they call money, which doesn't really exist. But in this system, you have a vocation, passion, mission, contribution, which your fellow men, women, boys and girls reward with an equal and opposite contribution to your life, so that no money needs to change hands. That's where we're heading. Do the reprogramming. I am law. So this is the master saying, I am law 5 times every day. And that will bring you into your mastery. I am law. I am a master. If I ever get dragged into court, I will reveal myself as Master David. I am, not my name is. That's mixing 2 jurisdictions. I am, that's your divine co-creative phrase, and we'll come to that in a minute. Master David. Leave the surname alone. Leave the word name alone. This is where we all need to be heading while we're under siege from these narcissistic enforcement agents. I am value, times 5. And a recent man, wiser than me in these matters, said, because I originally had it as times 3, he said, no, you need times 5 because 5 times both undoes the lie and programs the truth. If you just do 3, you just get some truth, but you haven't undone the lie. So it's 5 times. 5 is a magical, esoteric number. I am law, I am value, I am truth. I do other things besides this, and I think that these mantras that I do every day have created the bubble into which I stepped and labelled the people's lawyer. That's just my feeling. Can't prove that, but that's my feeling. Be conscious of the power of I am. I am a master. I am divine fractal version, or I am a son. I think David Icke, if I'm correct, said, I am a son of God. I am a son of the divine. That's correct. We all are. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the second coming. And the third and the fourth and the fifth. If we don't take this opportunity, it's going to be a long time before it comes again. So we have to raise our game and take this responsibility on. I am. So English language has been corrupted, and other languages are not anywhere near as corrupted, which could be one reason why they want English as the world language. Because if you're hungry, in French, you have hunger. In Spanish, you have hunger. How can you be hungry? You can only be divinity, a master, a man, a boy, a girl, a spiritual being having a physical existence or a physical life. You can't be hungry. You can feel hungry. So we need, and I'm constantly correcting myself. Feel hungry, feel tired, feel disappointed. And in certain conscious circles, where they assert themselves, how do you feel about what I've just said? Well, I feel a bit pissed off actually. But I feel, no, they don't say how are you, what we could say is how are you being, to make it temporary. So we have to distinguish, and Spanish does brilliantly. It has two verbs for the verb to be. One is permanent and one is temporary. We need to say, not how are you, but how are you being? And one of the most ridiculous things that we tell each other is, when instead of saying, I disagree with you, we say, you are wrong. That's blasphemy. How can someone who's a master of existence, fractal version of the divine, be wrong? They can only be right, otherwise they wouldn't be standing there. I disagree with you. Your logic is wrong. Fair enough. But you are wrong. Again, didn't we acquire this kind of nonsense at school? Just asking. So when you say I am, you are about to make a divine affirmation. So they say be careful what you wish for. So be careful what you say after the phrase I am. There's a thymus thump. Like the primates, you gently knock your chest with both hands alternatively, and it will correct any T-cell imbalance, immune cell imbalance in your thymus, and it will also correct any imbalance in your energy system, particularly your meridians. Be yourself, as Oscar Wilde said, because everybody else is taken. We can refer this back to the person. If you're being the person, you're not being yourself. Don't be the person, be yourself, is what that screen should say.